Hey, it's Kevin. Welcome back to the Road Warrior. Through my life, I've been told I had trust issues. Not trust issues in people, but trust issues in institutions, in businesses, in government, and all those kind of things. And there's a partial truth to that. I've always believed in individual people. I don't believe in groups as a whole. I don't believe politicians, no matter what side of the coin they're on, are always looking out in our best interest. They may think they are, but at the end of the day, they're really looking out in their best interest. We're really seeing that now. We've seen it through COVID, where people aren't really looking at a bigger picture and saying, you know what, this isn't about me, it's about a bigger issue. So I've always had trust issues about institutions, business, politics, government, fine. A lot of people have that, as we're finding out. I think a lot of people weren't necessarily self-aware of that, didn't really think about that until recently. I've never worried about trusting individuals. I will trust my friends to the end of the earth. I will trust the family I love to the ends of the earth. But when you lose my trust, it's hard to get it back if you ever can. A lot of people have been dealing with that as of recent. You have families that have been divided by politics. Some of my family does not have the same political values I have, and so I tend not to spend as much time talking with them or being with them. I'm very blessed. When my wife and I got together years ago, we never really shared a lot of our political values. Our religious views were slightly different, but she accepted mine, I accepted hers. Again, not about trying to change people. Right now we've got too many people trying to change people. I think the bigger issue is we don't need to change people, but we all need to be honest with who we are so people around us can determine whether they want to be around us. We have found of recent, there are some things we just have drawn the line in the sand and said, that's it. I can't have you in my life anymore because of that line in the sand, whichever side it's on. There are families who have come literally fallen apart over the years because of trust, because they don't trust their family members to do the right thing. It's funny, they always said, family, there's a bond about family, and while I understand that, I've never felt that way. Nothing against my family. I did not choose my family. I was in my family by blood, but I chose my friends. So therefore, I'm sometimes more trusting of friends than I am of family. And that's not to say I have any issues with my family. It's years ago when I got hired at a radio station, I did very well and kind of ascended through the ranks, and everybody always said, well, I was treated a little bit differently by some people. I said, well, that's because they hired me. Where when they bought another radio station in town, they acquired some of those people. And when you acquire somebody you didn't go through the initial process of hiring, you don't have the same feelings about them. Anytime a company is sold, the feelings about the employees change because they're a little bit more disconnected from those people. You've not been there. Those companies where the boss always stayed above me, or anytime a boss shift above you changes and that person didn't hire you, your relationship with the company, your relationship with your supervisors change. It takes time then to trust. And sometimes you can have a stronger relationship. I've had bosses who, weren't the boss that hired me, came on board, and I built a bigger, better relationship with them. It happens. Not always, but it happens. But right now we're living in a world where people have trust issues. It's almost like we really have to wear, I don't want to say buttons or badges or hats or whatever. It's like in the world, and I hate to use this analogy, in the world of gangs where the Bloods wear one color and the Crips wear the other. So the Bloods wear red and the Crips wear blue. It shows you how ignorant I am about that stuff. But at least then in the gang world of LA, they know which side you're on before you ever encounter them. You walk up knowing what they're going to look like. They've said the red Make America Great hats are that way right now, where if you see somebody wearing it, you pretty much know where they're coming from right now. And you automatically have trust or trust issues at that point. All depends on which side of the coin you're on. There's a lot going on in our world right now, and it is a fascinating time, both good and bad. But it's something to think about. Who do you? Who can you trust? And what are your issues? That's the one that a lot of people don't want to deal with. We don't want to look inside ourselves. Back next week, another Road Warrior, kevinmason.us, Facebook, YouTube, website, always, every Sunday, brand new. Okay, that's not technically true because Facebook, I don't throw them up until later on like Thursday. There's always a new Road Warrior up, so you don't have to, there's not always something topical with them. This will probably play for another 6 months, a year, who knows how long. It's crazy times. Back next week with another Road Warrior. Thanks for indulging me. See you next week.